You know, guys, I try to be as optimistic as possible, but I completely understand the frustration that many have had with the 2025 Game Awards. For starters, even though we have been through almost 2 decades of being let down with this news, there was no announcement whatsoever with regards to Half-Life 3. You know, I'm not surprised that there was no announcement of Half-Life 3. There might be next year with the Steam machine, but with the increase in RAM prices, there also might not. Don't tell that last part to the poor souls over at r/Half-Life. To say that those people are disappointed would be a complete understatement. Speaking of threes, there was also no announcement with regards to Titanfall 3, and Jeff Keighley didn't do anyone any favors by mentioning and teasing Titanfall twice ahead of Respawn's newly revealed game, Highguard. You know, I'm praying to God that one day, just one day, that there will be one hero shooter that I actually like. You know, you can't judge a book by its cover, but this game honestly just looks like a hero shooter.exe. In that when I watched this trailer, I didn't see a single thing that was like earth-shattering, mind-blowing. And to top it all off, this game was the last thing shown at the Game Awards. You know, usually you save the most hyped title towards the very end. Instead, they saved this game towards the very end, and that's why a lot of people are ultimately disappointed. Also, dude, the Muppet thing straight up sucks. There has got to be another company that will pay more money just to replace the Muppet paid advertising. Side note, but Boomer Entertainment is trying its damnedest to stay relevant. It's a really sad sight to see, and the transition between the old guard and the new gen can be very cruel, but at some point you gotta throw in the towel and realize that maybe it's time for a new generation to come through. Anyways, the final and biggest, most frustrating thing that people had with this event, and I'm sure you already know what I'm about to say, is Claire Obscure Expedition 33's sheer dominance in winning the awards. The game won 9 awards, including Game of the Year, Best Independent Game, Best RPG, Best Score and Music, Best Art Direction, Best Wiener, Best Audio Design, Best Narrative, Longest Piss, and Best Game Direction. Look, it's a cool RPG. I would try it out if I still wasn't using a GTX 1070, and I'm happy that this spotlight went to an original game that wasn't a reboot or a sequel. The world traversing is super sick, and I do think it's cool that it's turn-based. You know, I just feel like we normally don't see that style of gameplay, but maybe I'm just ignorant to other titles that have been released recently. But 9 awards in one night is absurd. I feel like that there are other good games that came out this year that could have at least had some piece of the pie. Hades 2, Arc Raiders, which I finally just started playing on my friend's Xbox, the new Hollow Knight, and the Indiana Jones game are my picks for at least something. I don't know, maybe it was warranted for Expedition 33 to receive this plethora of awards, but I gotta agree with the Game Awards 2025 Streamer of the Year, Moist Critical, in that focusing the spotlight all on one game in this fashion through constantly handing out awards to the game only makes the audience perception of said game worse. It's only caused people to try and highlight lows of the game, as well as join in on an anti-Expedition 33 bandwagon, all because of its award dominance. It's like the people who complain about LeBron's game, despite him having multiple 50-point games, multiple of the best awards, and being considered by many to be the best ever in the NBA. The point is, when you reach a certain stardom with your performance, you're gonna draw out negative people who just hate for the sake of hating. Guys, honestly, this might have been the weirdest Game Awards show that's ever existed. You of course have the people who entered in with absurd expectations who are of course disappointed, but you also had people who entered with realistic expectations who were left scratching their heads. You had good moments such as the reveal for Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic, as well as the new Divinity game, which looks disturbing. Definitely not rated E for everyone. I know, hot take. But the awards show also had very questionable moments that we just described in this video. Just please, for the love of God, please turn Miss Piggy into a pulled pork sandwich. Miss Piggy is too annoying, but also too delicious to leave uneaten.